Welcome to Cancer Care Services Heroes of Hope Celebration of Resilience. I'm Stevie Dawn Carter, Board Chair and Legacy of Hope Giving Society member. This is my good friend and fellow board member, Robert Stearns.
Thanks, Stevie Dawn. As you know, I've been connected to Cancer Care Services for over 15 years. In fact, this is my second time serving on the board, but believe me, there's nothing more fun than serving with you, Stevie Dawn.
You have to say that. It's on the teleprompter. So before we begin the program, I'd like to take a special moment to thank all of our generous corporate mission partners and certainly our presenting partner, Texas Oncology. Today, you are going to hear about resilience from a variety of people connected to this almost 75-year-old organization. In reflecting on what resilience means, I think of how my mother embodies this definition: the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. My mom is a 5-time cancer survivor. Resilience for me was giving her the support she needed during her most recent treatment, not getting stuck and allowing my brain to ask the what-if questions, to live every day to its fullest and enjoy every moment I had with my mom. Resilience is not letting the news of cancer dictate how we live our lives. At Cancer Care Services, we support cancer patients, care for caregivers, and empower survivors to reduce the impact of cancer in Tarrant County. Today, in our brief time together, we will highlight the stories of our work. Robert and I both thank you so much for being here with us. And as we join together online, we're reminded of the times that we are in, and that cancer doesn't stop during a pandemic. Our staff hasn't stopped either. Although we miss the Cancer Care Services building, a physical workplace does not define the personal passions our staff has for our mission.
I am resilient, I trust the movement, I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. 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 These times are poignant, the winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out fronts. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Wow. Now, I am so grateful to be part of the Cancer Care Services family. Now, we've seen the resilience of the staff at Cancer Care Services to adapt this year, and that resilience starts at the top with leadership. You know, Stevie Dawn, in preparation for today's event, I had the opportunity to sit down with Melanie Wilson, CEO and visionary leader of Cancer Care Services, to talk about what resilience means to her and this organization. Let's take a listen to our conversation. Hello, everyone. I'm eager to introduce you to my wonderful friend, Melanie Wilson. When I first met Melanie, she was going through cancer treatment. And obviously I was worried about her. But I also worried about her daughters and husband because cancer affects everyone in the family. I discovered this truth when my own mother was diagnosed with cancer. So Melanie and I have experienced cancer in very personal ways. This is why I'm dedicated to working with her to reduce the impact of cancer in Tarrant County. So Mel, you've been the CEO of Cancer Care Services for a decade. Both you and the organization have gone through some pretty big changes over the past 10 years. What does resilience mean to you?
When I came to Cancer Care Services, I was a cancer survivor, as you know. And my husband was also a cancer survivor, and my daughter Lauren was a cancer survivor. So I thought I had the cancer thing and the caregiver thing all figured out. But 8 months into my brand new job, my daughter called me from the health clinic of her university. Lauren put the doctor on the phone, and he told me to start driving to San Marcos immediately. Her cancer had come back for the 3rd time, and for the next 7 months she fought, and I fought with her right by her side. But her cancer won in the end, and Lauren died the morning after her favorite holiday, which is Halloween. So after I lost my daughter, I wasn't sure if I had the capacity to be resilient. Luckily I did though. Like me, Cancer Care Services has grown a lot over the last 10 years. During the last decade, we have doubled our social work staff. We've added dietitians, added a counselor, a play therapist, a financial advocate, and community health workers. But before even making these important changes, I began by writing an inclusiveness statement during my first months on the job. Thankfully, I know so much more today, and the more I continue to listen, the more I continue to learn.
Thank you, Melanie, for listening and making those necessary changes along the way. When I was first on our board back in the late 90s, Cancer Care Services was really focused on providing support and services for the person going through cancer. Now Cancer Care Services has evolved beyond supporting the cancer patient. Now we also care for the caregivers and we empower survivors. And this is especially meaningful to me because of my own experience with my mom. She was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2003. And it was an incredibly difficult time for me as I was worried not only about her, but I was also trying to take care of my dad. And I don't think I realized at the time how stressed out I was, and that's typical for a caregiver. So that's why providing care for the caregivers in particular is so important to me, as I know firsthand what that experience is like and how it can affect you for so many years. So Melanie, what do you see for Cancer Care Services' future?
Well, I see a future where everyone impacted by cancer, regardless of their age, their income, or their race, has equal access to life-saving cancer treatment. But right now, this isn't the case. Right now, there are groups of people who are dying from cancer at higher rates than others. Right now, there are preventable differences in the ability to survive cancer if you happen to be socially disadvantaged. So we are doing even more as an organization to ensure that everyone who is facing cancer has a fighting chance.
What is it going to take to be able to serve everyone?
Well, for a start, I'm glad I have you and Stevie Don on my side. I'm also grateful for our Legacy of Hope Giving Society members. They invest in our mission year after year, and they make it possible for Cancer Care Services to be resilient, even during a year like 2020. So as we look toward 2021 with hope, there are things we need in order to serve everyone impacted by cancer in Tarrant County. Studies have shown that community health workers play a vital role in communities where resources are scarce and where trust is broken. We have to hire more community health workers who can serve as a trusted bridge between cancer and hope. We also need to add another counselor, one who speaks Spanish. And we need the technology required to provide education and support for caregivers like we were, but we need it online.
If we could accomplish these things, what would be the impact on the community?
Well, more cancer patients would have the resources they need to pay for treatment and to cope with the emotional impact of cancer. More survivors would be able to understand and manage what comes next after their treatment ends, and they would have the support they need to put their lives back together, including counseling and even help reducing their medical debt. More caregivers would have the encouragement and resources they need during one of the most challenges experience of their lives.
You know, when I was looking after my mother, every day seemed to be a blur. It was making sure we could get her to appointments. It was making sure we were talking to the doctor and understanding. We were trying to focus on the pain management. But as I said earlier, it was also making sure that my dad wasn't running himself into the ground either. He was also in the role of a caregiver, and she really needed his emotional strength and support more than any other time in her life. So if we can provide that support through the programs that Cancer Care provides that allows for someone to take even a moment just to catch their breath, the level of care to the patient can be significantly improved. And that's really what drives my passion for this organization and what it's doing.
I'm so grateful that you're on this journey with me, Robert. Thank you. And for all of you who want to be on this journey as well, those of you who care about making sure we have the resources we need to be resilient, please be part of Cancer Care Services' commitment to supporting cancer patients, caring for caregivers, and empowering survivors to reduce the impact of cancer for everyone in our beloved community.
Thank you, Melanie, and thank you for all the wonderful work this organization is doing.
What an important conversation, Robert, and what a great opportunity for you both to be instrumental to the progress and growth of Cancer Care Services after all these years. I don't know about you, Robert, but 2020 has not been the year I had planned. I mean, it's taken us a long time to get here, and we're only in October. It feels like a lifetime since we've had a sense of normalcy. And as a caregiver, which I know we both understand, sometimes resilience means being strong. And I recently got to hear the story of one of our caregivers showing just that strength. Take a look.
Well, my dad, he's quiet. It's like me. He's a worker, hard worker. And he doesn't talk too much, but when he talks, he just say exactly the word that we need to hear. It was February 2nd. He get lost driving to our house.
And that was a red flag.
Yes.
Because his profession is driving. He always knew where he was, so when he got lost, then that was a red flag for us.
So next day, we went to Baylor. They told me we did an MRI, and we see a tumor in his head. And that night, they say we need to do a surgery. They say the specialists are either in John Peter Smith or Harris, and we need to do it really fast because it's big. Since they don't speak English, and I have to do the translate, it was hard for me to tell them. He was calm. Surprisingly, he was really calm. And I had to be strong because my mom was there. And he was like, you can decide what you want the doctors do it to me. And that was a big responsibility. So it was a Tuesday and that Friday, and he had the surgery.
COVID hit, and then his radiation started.
The place that I work, they closed. So he's the only one who is working right now. And it's hard to keep all the bills paid. It is hard now that my sister is here too. My parents are here with a different diet, with different and it's like a little bit more expensive. And then the whole family got the COVID.
Yes, all of us.
So it was hard.
I was asymptomatic, so I had no symptoms. My son had a fever for 2 days, and then he was past it. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law they were doing pretty bad. My sister-in-law as well, and then you got it the worst.
I was more worried about like trying to feed my dad or my mom. And my son was asking for food. I was like, okay. So it's painful, but I was trying to help them. And then the social worker at John P. Smith, they told us about Cancer Care Services, the program. That was amazing. I was calling, and there was Miss Fernanda Valadez, the social working in cancer care. She was kind. She understand my situation. She was that sunshine that I was looking for. And plus, she speaks Spanish, so I feel so comfortable talking to her. I feel that I found a sister, a close friend, and that gave me hope, peace. I feel that I'm at home. She gave me a lot of resources, and she told me about the classes I'm in. I want to learn. I want to know how to help my dad. She said, like, Jamie, I have to tell you that we have to postpone all the classes because COVID. But she said, don't worry, I have something for you, and I'm gonna give you all the information, and we're gonna work together. And then she calls again and say, you are gonna be approved for paying your bills this month. We were shocked, but we were so happy.
That month we really got hit with the bulk of the hospital bills, with the no insurance discount. I think they had discounted about $70-something thousand, and we still had to pay another $70-something thousand. We were going default on, I think, the water bill, and so they paid that. Electricity as well. Financially, that really helped us out just to get back on our feet and try to sort through the whole thing.
Cancer Services is hope and love. They understand your situation. They hug you, if that is a proper word. They hug you.
I mean, we're just thankful to God because it's just unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable year, for sure.
As a caregiver myself, I've really felt that. And one of my favorite things in watching our clients move into resiliency. And so to show that, I'd like to introduce you to Carlene King.
Hi, my name is Carlene King, and it's my honor to share my story and my long relationship with Cancer Care Services. I've been a resilient and outspoken advocate for Cancer Care Services since I walked in those doors in 2008. I'd recently been diagnosed with cancer and had been told about Cancer Care Services by Texas Oncology, but I didn't think that their services would actually be for me. At that time, I was a single mom with 2 teenage daughters, and I had a career as a real estate broker and an income. So what could this organization really do for me? I was told that Cancer Care offered free oncology massages. Now, that was something that sounded relaxing and soothing in the midst of those cancer treatments. I felt drained and extremely fatigued most of the time. So I scheduled a massage appointment at Cancer Care Services. I never could have imagined that a simple massage would lead me to finding help and support from that day on. I immediately felt at home in Cancer Care Services' living room, and it was on that day that I met a true sister friend, Jane Oderberg. And at that time, Jane was the program director, and from the moment we met, I knew that she genuinely cared about what happened to me. Although Jane has since retired from Cancer Care Services staff, she continues to be a mighty force for this organization. Jane serves on the board of directors, and she's a member of our Legacy of Hope Giving Society. But even more importantly, Jane is still my twin sister. When I walked out of Cancer Care Services building on that day 12 years ago, yes, I felt relaxed from my massage, but I felt so much more. They helped me financially with months of health insurance premiums. They also paid for medications I needed for my treatment side effects. They also talked to me. They listened to me, and they made me feel right at home. I continued with those massages the day prior to each of my chemo sessions, and those massages allowed me to go into those tough days feeling calmer and very cared for. And I believe they really helped me to cope with the unwanted side effects of the cancer treatments. After my treatment ended, I became a grateful survivor. And I was asked by Jane if I was willing to mentor some of those other clients who needed to hear from someone who had been down that same path. I was so happy to do so. And I ended up forging friendships with many of these women. I would call them just to check in on them. And most of the time, they just needed to talk, to cry, to vent. They just needed to be heard. I would tell them, just go ahead and talk. I have nothing else to do right now. I was happy to give them that same love and attention that Jane gave to me. So throughout the past 12 years, I've stayed connected with this resilient organization. I've served on the Cancer Care Services Board of Directors. I've been a volunteer, a mentor, and now I'm on the staff. This incredible organization does so much for so many. So it's just unacceptable to me that there are still communities in Tarrant County who are not aware of the free resources that Cancer Care Services provides. Since my first day knowing about cancer care, I tell everyone I meet, just call them. It doesn't matter which services you think will pertain to you, just call, and they'll find ways to help you that you hadn't even thought of. Remember, I thought all I needed was a massage, but then they helped me to pay for insurance, medicine, and more importantly, they gave me somebody to talk to about what I was going through as a single mom with cancer. Cancer Care support didn't just help me financially, they helped me emotionally, and it was all for free. And it's available to me forever. So today, I celebrate being an empowered survivor, and I feel thankful that my journey has led me to becoming a community health worker with Cancer Care Services. As a proud member of their outreach and health equity team, I strive to bring heightened awareness of our mission throughout Tarrant County. I've been a strong advocate for Cancer Care Services since that first day 12 years ago. And now I'm in a staff role that enables me to do even more to bring an increased awareness so we can serve people in all neighborhoods, especially those with the greatest needs. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Karen DeSantis. I've had the privilege of meeting some of you on Cancer Care Award tours over the years, whether in person at the Cancer Care Services building or in our new virtual tour. We've talked a lot today about resilience, and I'm yet another example. In 2013, I was given a very small chance of surviving my cancer diagnosis for 5 years. Some quick math, that was 7 years ago, and I'm here today. I connect my resilience to the relationships that I have with my Cancer Care Services family. They've walked alongside of me and my family for the past 7 years. If Cancer Care Services needed me to move their building 3 inches to the left, I would be the first one there with my shoulder to the bricks. I am also grateful for the individuals in this community who have already stepped up prior to today with combined leadership gifts of $120,000. These community leaders hope to inspire you to give generously, because when you support Cancer Care Services, you support me and others like me. And I thank you for that.
Well, Karen, I know you always inspire me, and I'm always so resilient after I hear your story. And you so continue to serve the Cancer Care Services mission. We can't thank you enough for that. Today, it's my privilege to ask you to join our Legacy of Hope Giving Society. I hope these stories of resilience have shown you the true spirit of Cancer Care Services and the impact this organization has on all of us. If we were all in the same room together today, I would ask everyone to raise their hand if you've ever been touched by cancer, or if cancer has ever touched somebody you know. And I know that all the hands in the room would be raised. That is why I want you to join me in becoming a Legacy of Hope Giving Society member today. Now, for further motivation, the Amon Carter Foundation has made a generous matching gift of $25,000. This match is for the first year of all new Legacy of Hope Giving Society members who join within the next 48 hours. That means if 25 of you become new Legacy of Hope Giving Society members in the next 48 hours, our $25,000 becomes $50,000. In addition, our presenting sponsor, Texas Oncology, will match every dollar donated up to $27,000. We are thankful for both of these partnerships and their continued support of cancer care services. I hope you are inspired to be generous as well. Some of you have attended this event last year and you pledged your support. We are so grateful for that. Will you consider helping Cancer Care Services again by increasing the amount of your pledge or the length of your pledge? For our current Giving Society members, you can do this by selecting the third button option titled Existing Donors with a Pledge. Let's take just a quick moment to go over the giving form, starting at the top. At the completion of the program, you can access this form by clicking the Pledge Form button in the story section below. The first giving level is a pledge of $1,000 each year for 5 years, which is about $84 a month. 10 new Giving Society donors at this level can provide 3 months of life-saving health insurance for 10 cancer patients each year for 5 years. That's 50 families impacted. The next Giving Society level is a pledge of $10,000 each year for 5 years. This kind of investment can make lasting organizational changes, like a complete makeover of our online technology. And this year has been a huge testament to the need for online resources that are interactive and accessible for all clients, even during a pandemic. The top Giving Society level is a pledge of $25,000 a year for 5 years. This level of strategic partnership would allow us to sustain and even grow our team of social work professionals, community health workers, and licensed counselors. This sizable investment enables us to provide the navigation and knowledge that can help everyone impacted by cancer in Tarrant County to become resilient, both today and 5 years into the future. So for those of you who prefer to give at a different level, note the fourth option and tell us how much you would like to give and for how many years. Remember, if your gift is $1,000 or more for 5 years, you can become a member of the Legacy of Hope Giving Society, like me. Regardless of the amount of your support, we ask that you make the first payment on your pledge today. And perhaps you have some great ideas for us. I like great ideas. I love to brainstorm. So if you do, please utilize the questions and other thoughts to share section on the form. Now, before the interruptions of life get in the way this afternoon, we'd be truly grateful if you could please take a few minutes to complete your pledge form at the conclusion of our program. You can access this form by clicking the Pledge Form button in the story section below. And now, I believe, Karen, you had some final thoughts.
As we come to the end of our time together today, please let me say on behalf of everyone at Cancer Care Services and speaking on behalf of the client families that they serve every day, thank you for coming to listen, to learn, to contribute your valuable time and resources. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you to you, Karen, for sharing your story about resilience. And thank you to Robert, my co-MC and fellow board member. And thank you to you all. We sincerely appreciate you all for spending this time with us. Despite how challenging 2020 has been for all of us, I think we deserve a cheers to our resilience. Cheers to the heroes who bring us hope, and cheers to everyone out there. Take care. Cheers. Boom.
I am resilient. I trust the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. 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 These times are poignant. The winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out front. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to